the title of this episode is just spooky. Should we
I
say
mean,
like spooky animals or like
nah, I'm okay with
okay.
that. I feel like
Yep.
I am so okay with us having a yearly like spooka episode.
Uh-huh.
Spooky episode. I guess
Yes.
this is like how many years have we been doing this? Like our fifth year
Like
of
three
spooky?
years, 4 years?
3 years?
Yeah.
Okay. Has it only been 3 years since COVID?
I mean it's been more than that, but when did we start doing it? It wasn't immediately after the like we had the whole trivia era,
That's
right?
true. There was a trivia era and then so like a little bit after COVID era. But anyway,
Yeah.
hello, welcome to Philosophising. My name is Ruby.
And I'm Nathan.
And today we are doing our yearly spooky episode.
Spooky science episode slash I feel like historically this has been about spooky animals. I feel like we extended it a little bit this time to include spooky other organisms. But yeah, it's our creepy thing episode.
I know. And if it wasn't for, I think it was actually Nadira who was just like, I don't think you guys can have an entire show that's always about spooky animals, like for the whole year. If it wasn't for her, like constraining us, we would do like spookies. I would do spookies like 6 months of the year. Like
Like,
we would
should we
have
just
a,
make like a podcast that's about creepy animals?
I know. I think I'm just like I'm just obsessed. So this episode was so easy to put together because I've been banking ideas for years, and I have to like keep from talking about certain things so that we can like finish within 1 hour. So
Nice. Yeah.
yeah, so deep. Um, yeah, the catalog for cool things, cool animals I want to talk about is very deep. But Nathan wanted to start with not animals,
Yeah.
which I read a little bit about, and I am thoroughly creeped out.
Do you
So
agree that they're spooky?
yes, absolutely, and I'm really
Okay,
glad that we
great.
have moved. Like, I mean, we've gone beyond animals. Like, I think I did a spooky like lakes and deep water things, like chemical
At one
things, but
point, yeah.
at one point. But this one is pretty creepy, and like it really jogs your like your imagination. Like it makes you like think of all the horrible things that could happen if it were true. So how about you introduce it to
Yeah, yeah. So, have you ever heard of Mirror Life? Or I guess you have because you were reading about it, but just say you haven't for the
okay.
the
Yeah.
purposes of streaming.
Explain. I
Yeah. Um so basically, so living things have this really weird property that we rarely talk about called chirality. And actually, let me pull up some images of this because it's really unintuitive what exactly we're talking about when we say chirality. But
I kind
essentially,
of Oh, go ahead. I was
oh,
gonna say
go ahead.
when I was conceptually trying to wrap my head around it the first time, I kind of thought about like isoforms, like in chemistry, like where you have
Hmm.
like a left version and then you have a right version that does very similar things and has like the same binding sites, but it just is, you know, opposite. Is that close-ish?
Yeah. Let me pull up this chemistry um, page which talks about it because just when so the idea is essentially that you can have a molecule and you can have that molecule basically flipped like it would be a mirror image of that molecule, which is why this thing is called mirror life. Um,
Wait, hold on, Nate. I
however,
think
I was
you're sharing the wrong window.
oh um,
We're
let's
seeing your
try that
Google Drive.
again. Ah, um, oh yeah, screen. Okay, here we go.
Drost. Oh,
Okay.
there we go. There we go.
Yeah. Got it? Yeah. Okay. So essentially, so you can have this molecule, it's got a carbon stuff attached to it, which is what most organic molecules are. And essentially, this can be like these two molecules can be when we have it oriented like that on the left side of the carbon or on the right side of the carbon. And I think the really weird thing about this is that so essentially what they point out is that these are not the same molecule. So that it's not just like you could flip one and superimpose them on the other, because you can see when you have this carbon up in one of these orientations, these are actually in different positions, if that makes sense. Let me see if they have another example, because I feel like that's also not a very good way of showing it.
Yeah, it's not actually left and right. They're actually bound in a different, like you can't flip it and it's the same thing. It's actually pointing a different, like it's a different permutation.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, this makes sense.
Yeah. This one is useful.
No, I like the one with the hands. Yeah, I feel
the
like
hands,
it really is like there's a left-handed version, here's a right-handed version.
Right,
like if
and
you
that's how
both of them and look down,
that's how
it would be different.
Refer to it too.
Yeah.
And so the interesting thing is basically that you can form molecules in either of these orientations, or in either of this. It's called chirality or handedness, and they're actually not interchangeable. And it turns out that with a lot of molecules in the human body, and actually in biological systems in general, only the right-handed version is the version that's really biologically active. So there's actually a lot of drugs that are where when you produce the drug, you get an equal mix of the left-handed version and the right-handed version, and then you try to strip out all the left-handed version so that you're left with just the right-handed version. Or in some cases, you try and do the opposite. In some cases, you want just the left-handed version. That's often used in cases where you want a molecule that is going to be taken to the same places as a particular target molecule, but then block it from being activated or metabolized. So actually, one of the clinical uses of these left-handed molecules is to make left-handed DNA, and you can introduce it into cells, and it can basically prevent the matching DNA from being transcribed, because it kind of jams up all the machinery for transcribing it.
That's kind of creepy itself, but also a very useful tool.
But it's useful, and I think so. And this kind of gets into this question about mirror life. So it turns out that basically all living things, most of our molecules are these right-handed ones, except for sugars, which I believe we can only. Actually, let me double check that.
I thought all DNA was right-handed, and then RNAs are left-handed, and then proteins are right-handed again, or something like that. Is that not how it works?
Let me look it up.
And no, the weird thing is that at some point, before there was life, suddenly there was life on the planet. It flipped a coin and just picked one, and then everything else afterwards went with one direction, right? We don't have we don't have both all intermingled all the time right now. Our current Earth, all beings, all life forms currently are kind of just subscribing to one version of everything.
Mm-hmm. And to me, that makes a lot of sense, because most organisms rely on other organisms in some way. So if you're not a plant, and in fact most plants, even though they photosynthesize, they pick up other biological compounds from the environment. Most plants are either eating or most organisms are either eating organisms or using something that's produced by them. So if the first living thing uses mostly right-handed proteins, then it makes sense for everything else to evolve to also use right-handed proteins, because then you can use the ones that are produced by that thing.
That's such a good transition into my part, but we're gonna hold off.
Yeah.
On that.
Yeah. So to me, it's kind of like asking. It's like it's sort of similar to the reason why like why we aren't all just like relying on photosynthesis. It's just kind of if there's some other life that exists, it makes sense to evolve to take advantage of it. And that is why basically all the biomolecules that we know of um, follow this layout essentially. But we occasionally produce, so we occasionally want to produce ones that are reversed. I think one of the interesting ones that I was reading about was actually a lot of researchers are really interested in, can we make a chemical called L-glucose? So it turns out we can only burn the right-handed form of glucose, but you can also make glucose in this left-handed form, and it acts as a non-caloric sweetener because it binds to the taste receptors, but we can't actually use it for energy. And so people have been really interested in like, okay, you can make sugar that just doesn't like act like sugar in your body. The challenging thing about this is that right now, because nothing naturally like uses L-glucose, so it's not like you can go harvest it from a plant like you would with other sugars. You have to actually do this very complicated chemical synthesis of it, so it's very expensive. It's too expensive to like use in any food practically. So the obvious answer to that is, okay, we make a bacterium that can produce L-glucose. That's just the kind of glucose it uses. And then we grow that bacterium, and we then make like kombucha with L-glucose in it. And then we have our calorie-free sweetener. And similarly with all these other things. So there's, like I mentioned, there's a lot of cases where you would want left-handed versions of things to interfere with or block a particular molecule. The easiest way to do that is to make a left-handed bacterium and make it express that molecule and then just extract it. We can use all our standard techniques. So it sounds great.
Okay. I was like, how do you dispose of it? Like what happens like if we don't
of the bacterium?
No, not just the bacterium, of these like left-handed sugars that like the glucose. So we make this left-handed glucose, so we eat it and then we poo it out, and it's just gonna hang out in the world. Is that okay?
Yeah, just go out into the environment. And I think that's the interesting thing is like nothing is really gonna like break it down or incorporate it into other biomolecules. It might like get broken down by some other non-biological process, but like the whole point of this is that neither our body nor any other biological organisms really know what to do with this, so they just leave it alone.
I was gonna say like for now.
Yeah, and I'll say, okay, that is actually, so there's sometimes there's other problems too. So for example, there's some amino acids where only the right-handed form is active, but if you have a mix of them, the left-handed form will kind of saturate the things that transport the amino acid. And so basically, it's actually, in theory, it would be possible to like, if you put organisms in an environment with a lot of L-glucose, you could kind of starve them to death because all the mechanisms that are transporting glucose are transporting this form that they can't actually burn. And so that really, I mean, that kind of gets into, so this really gets into this, I mean, this sounds like this kind of interesting biological technique, and actually, a few years ago, a bunch of researchers came out with this statement where they specifically said, just, we should not do this. We should not make any organisms that are mirror life because they would be too dangerous. And so they published op-ed, which I think is this one. And the argument was pretty much exactly what you said. It is that if we make mirror life, not only is it going to make all these compounds that can interfere with biology and that biological systems can't degrade, but also if you make a mirror life bacterium, for example, it wouldn't really have any natural predators. It seems like if it got into your body, it seems very unlikely that your immune system would be able to deal with it. And so basically, you could make this bacterium that could just kind of spread unchecked through living tissue. And like, I mean, we've been through, right? Like, we know what happens when you have a thing that no one has immunity to. But the thing about this is because it's using these left-handed proteins, it would actually be biologically impossible for any form of life to acquire immunity to it. So what these researchers pointed out is like is that when we're thinking about this, we should seriously consider the possibility that this could wipe out all life on the planet. They also give this like not very reassuring caveat that the capability to create mirror life is likely at least a decade away, which like they're trying to be like, oh, it's not an immediate threat, but this also seems like not that far away when you're talking about something that could like end the world. Yeah, so
well, the world would be fine. Life would be not fine.
I mean, maybe. I mean, like people like we started talking a lot about like like for example like engineered pandemics, and this is basically what they're talking about with mirrored life would basically be the worst case scenario for that, because you could actually make the world kind of permanently incapable of supporting any of the plants or animals that exist on it now. Like this is a technology that we could have in the next 10 years that could basically take the Earth back to the Precambrian era of evolution of life.
Oof. Oof. And we would have to start from scratch again.
Yeah.
As single cell organisms. That is so scary.
You're just
that
like, oh man, that's such a pain.
No, okay. You know what's even more scary to me? The most scary part about this is that humans would totally do it if they realized like for a like diet sugar. Like they totally would do it if they would make money. Like that's how insane I think humans are. Like we'll be like, yeah, that'll be fine. Like we're just making a diet sugar. It's not gonna do anything horrible until they have like runaway lab organisms. Do you know what I mean? Like
yeah, I mean, and that's why they put out this op-ed actually, is because there are a few biotech companies that are now kind of looking at ways. No one really is trying to make like full mirror life bacteria yet, but for example, like there's been a lot of interest in creating like a mirror ribosome that could then make mirror proteins in a cell culture. But it's like you can see like what the reason they put out this op-ed is because they were like, wow, people are treating this as just like a regular biochemical technique that these startups are trying to develop, and like they're just like, to be clear, this could actually be an existential threat.
Nathan, this is more than creepy and spooky. This is this is like life ending on the planet.
Yes. Yeah. I mean, it's good that they pointed it out though. Like I feel like that like it's good that like I think it is good that these scientists were like, hey, we need to get ahead of this and not do it. Because I think also
I don't know if many people know about this, Nathan.
Yeah, but I guess like being optimistically, I think there's ways to do the things that these companies want to do that are less dangerous too. So for example, like you can make just parts of a mirror life cell, but not make a whole cell that's capable of replicating itself. And that's probably much safer, because then you can make your like mirror proteins, that thing that you can use as a drug, but you don't have to worry about like making something that could be an unstoppable pandemic.
Yeah, I mean, this is why scientists go through bioethics like course in first year of grad school. like this, these are the things that they need to think about before they do it. Like just because you could.
Yeah, I'm glad they're thinking about it. Anyway.
Yeah, I'm glad they're thinking about it. I hope these biotechs are thinking about it. I hope the scientists in these biotechs are not behind a paywall and can't read these articles. so they can so they can know about it and think about it deeply. That is so scary. Wow. Okay, you have.
Yeah. Anyway, so let's not do that.
Yeah, let's not do
the
that.
point.
Oof. Okay. I guess mine are so much more like lighthearted compared to that.
Like less scary.
Yeah, I thought
Interesting.
mine was gonna be, kind of dark, but so I wanted to talk about how organisms consume each other, or absorb each other, and like mutualism, slash parasitism slash symbiosis, and like
Nice.
some combination of that kind of gets our creepy crawly, like, makes your skin tingle a little bit. And I was like, Halloween. So the first one I want to talk about are two different kinds of insects or invertebrates. So there's this bone collecting caterpillar. You know what? Actually, Nathan, will you open, since you have the sharing screen
Sure.
going?
Bone conduction or bone collecting caterpillar. Yeah. Can you share it?
Yeah. Here, let me put the paper. Does it display? Annoyingly. Okay, sorry. You're gonna have to re-put it.
Should I just?
Reason.
Okay.
Yeah. So if you open it and you look at figure 1, you can take a look at what they look like. So this is a caterpillar from Hawaii. It's called a. So when it's a caterpillar, it's walks around in.
I don't have access to this actually, but.
Oh no! Okay, you're not on campus. Okay, hold on. I have access. Give me the tools.
I can get it too, but
screen. Hawaiian. Look at this guy. Can you see it?
Yeah. Yeah. Now we got it.
This is the
Hawaiian bone collecting caterpillar.
Yeah, it's called. Where's its full name? It is called. I mean, it's in the Lepidoptera. Anyway, okay. So the cool thing about it is that it collects these like body parts from other animals that it has already consumed, and uses it as armor. so that when it goes into like a spider web's nest, like this is it in the wild, it can like walk through spider web's nest and like eat other spiders' food.
Because it has this armor protecting it
from
against
getting
the spiders.
stuck. Yeah, so like they don't stick to it. That's
so it just keeps it from getting stuck in the web.
Yeah,
because like these parts are sticking and like breaking off.
Yeah. Very like just like a cool. This is actually a cool paper. It also talks about how like Hawaii has like one of the highest number of animals and species diversity going extinct. So like all these like cool animals doing cool things are going away. So that's one of the cool things.
Wait, so where does the caterpillar get the pieces of other animals?
I think after it consumes it. Hold on, let me read it. So there's also an ant, which I wanted to talk about after this, which is, I'm sorry, not an ant.
So this is like
bug.
This is a carnivorous caterpillar.
I think it's a carnivorous. Wait, hold on. Nope, this is an herbivorous. It scavenges discarded insect parts. And feeds on the discarded bits of the. No, so it does eat. I mean, I guess if you don't kill it, it's still meat. Like they're eating discarded bits of the insect's prey. I think that makes it. I think it makes it carnivorous. If it's eating.
So something else kills the insects, and then it just picks them up.
Yeah. And then here's another. So there's another insect called a assassin bug, Acanthus petax. Let me show you a photo of. Nope, that's just a photo of the abdomen of one. I have so many photos. Hold on. Okay, let's just go with the the Wikipedia version because Wikipedia is easy to find. And share
Could you
screen.
reshare your screen again? I think it stopped for some reason.
Okay, let's share screen. Can you see that?
Let me add it. Yep. There you go.
Yeah. So.
Oh wow! So
Yeah.
that's the same thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So this is not the caterpillar. This is an assassin bug. So the assassin bug. Can you see my cursor? That's kind of waving. Okay. So this is the assassin bug. I'm just drawing over his abdomen. This is his head, and then these are ants that he has consumed. So he has these little hair vibrissa that he just stabs them onto, and he has already sucked the juice out of these ants, and then he just has these shell carcasses, and so he just attaches them to his body, and
well, that's
it
terrifying.
helps him. It helps him with camouflage, and so it can like move around, and it's just like protection. Yeah, and they do it even at the nymph phase. Like they use it to like hide. So some species will use like sand and like pebbles and dirt and stuff, and then like some will just use the bodies of their food.
Yeah, I mean that does kind of make sense, but like, so they think this is it's mostly like camouflage for it to hunt other things.
Yeah, I think it. Hold on, let me find my notes page, which has. Can you see the notes? Are the notes popping up, or are they?
I can't. No.
Okay, great. Don't want the notes to pop out because it's just a lot of bullet points. Okay, so usually it injects the prey with a digestive enzyme, drinks the dissolved tissues, leaving the empty exoskeleton. Then it's fixed to the back using an adhesive thread that secretes from these secretory hairs on its abdomen, and then just like stabs and sticks it there.
And then it puts it on its back. Yep.
Acanthaspis patax.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I guess I think the criterion that I'm thinking about is like, would I be scared if I saw this in a horror movie? And like, I think it definitely would. Like, imagine you're being hunted by something that's just like adorned with like human body parts, like
yeah,
that it just
like
sticks
skulls.
onto itself.
Yeah. Oh, creepy.
Sorry for the mental image.
Oh yeah, sorry. We're gonna tell you today it's gonna be full of creepy crawlies and like ugly animal creepy things. So in the theme I wanted to talk about animals that absorb other animals, and that was my theme this year. And the first one, I mean, there's like simple ones where it's like absorbing is like eating the others. So did you know that tiger sharks will eat their siblings and they'll eat them?
I did not know that.
In utero. So it's called intrauterine cannibalism. So the parents, the mother will have multiple eggs that are fertilized or unfertilized. They have different names if they're fertilized or not. And basically they only birth like 2 or 3, maximum 3, usually 2 baby sharks. And I was like, wait, how is that happening when they're these species usually make a shit ton of babies? And they finally showed a video recently. These are sand tiger sharks. Let me see if I can find the video of the babies. So basically the first 2 babies that are no, I like that on Reddit. It's called not safe for work content. Let me change.
I mean, that's probably true.
Yeah, so here is footage of baby shark. Oh, baby shark, baby shark, baby shark. There we go. Let's see if I can find. So this is a video of the baby shark inside in utero. And
right,
so basically
they put a camera in the shark's uterus, and then they're like, let's film these baby sharks.
Yeah, so basically 1 or 2 of them hatch a little bit. They're not even hatched. They're just not eggs anymore. And they'll just start eating their siblings. And so they run out of their own yolk, like the eggs will run out of nutrition for themselves. And so they finish consuming that, and then they just like look around and then just consume all their siblings until there's only like one other one left. And then those are the ones that make it. And so it gives so they're like already like hunting before they have like left the womb. there.
And it's interesting
And
because I guess it selects for ones that are going to be the most aggressive.
yeah, pretty much. So like they
Yeah.
wake up and they're like hungry. Look at this guy eating his
Wow.
bro. Or
Ooh.
this girl eating her sister. I don't know. Like they're eating their siblings.
Each
And
other.
and
Yeah.
yeah, and it's interesting that they know to eat their siblings and not like their mother.
Yeah, I mean, is it that like they also try to like chomp on the uterine lining or whatever, but they just don't, like it's just not that harmful?
That's a great question. I don't know. um yeah, so they create many eggs and yield just two pups. Um okay, sorry. So the sharks, these sand sharks have two uteruses. So each uterus
Oh.
produces a lot of eggs, but they each have one shark.
And
And
then you
so
get one per uterus, that's the
you get one.
surviving one.
Correct, because it ate all the others.
Wow.
I don't know. That's pretty creepy to me. Spooky.
Hmm.
Um, so that's another example of I guess a different way of absorbing another animal.
Yeah. Do you want to know a creepy fact, like an even creepier fact that's related to this?
Yes, please.
Okay, so there is some evidence that humans might also do this. Probably not in the like biting sense, but like there's some evidence that like twins are more common than we actually think, but what happens at some point is that one embryo just kind of like envelops the other one and it just kind of becomes incorporated into its body.
Yep,
Um,
I didn't know about that. That like, and then like sometimes like parts of their twin, like it's just like in their body somewhere else. Like
mhm.
migrated body parts are.
Right. And yeah, so there's a kind of cancer called a teratoma, which is it's kind of its distinguishing feature is that you'll have a kind of tissue sort of in a cyst somewhere where it's not supposed to be. So like you'll have like a tumor in your leg that is just making a bunch of hair or something.
Or
And
teeth.
one of the theories about like how this happens is that those are actually cells that came from a twin that got enveloped. And therefore, you have these cells that were kind of more differentiated to produce like hair or teeth or something that's not actually supposed to be in that part of your body.
Oof,
Um,
oof.
and
It's
it
like
shows
dead
up as this
twin
kind of
parts.
bizarre cancer. Yeah.
Dead twin cancer. Oof.
Which, like, I don't know, like, talking about this, I kind of understand why people believed in, like, curses and stuff. Like, I'm like, yeah.
Oh, that is quite creepy. Okay, so and I want to move on to the other creepy crawlers because I
Mhm.
have so many. So the other
Yeah.
category is different kinds of digestion that kind of
Mhm.
absorbs beings from other like animals have strategies. So for
Mhm.
example, there are these worms called acoleal worms, ACOEL flatworms. And flatworm we're going to talk about
ACOUL.
EL.
Mhm.
Yeah, so I'm going to talk about other kinds
Yeah.
of flatworms, but this flatworm in particular, it doesn't have a full like epithelial lining gut. Like they do have like a mouth hole and a butthole, but they just kind of phagocytose and they just open their mouth and their digestive cavity is called a syncytium, and the cells just directly engulf whatever individual or food particle that inside into like these vacuoles, and the vacuoles that are inside the syncytium, which is like their full body stomach, I guess, and it just dissolves it in the vacuoles, and then that's how their food is broken down, unlike our guts. uh that is a really weird way of absorbing another animal, like an animal eating another animal, but like instead of like eating it and putting it into their gut, like they just phagocytose.
Like, you just like, kinda, like, slink up next to it and just, like, absorb it into your cells.
Yeah, and they actually see a similar kind of digestion that exists in a vertebrate, which is in hagfish. lampreys.
Huh.
So they're kind of an ancient skeletal fish. So it has like a spinal cord and everything. And so you know how like they're really known for their like mucus, their mucosal
Yeah.
membranes.
So like, yeah, I
So
saw like a video of one where it's like there was a truck carrying hagfish and it tipped over, and that caused the hagfish to just like release a bunch of mucus all over the road. So this is like their defense mechanism is they produce mucus. But
yes. So in addition to creating this mucus, it actually can absorb. So that it uses this mucus as like their substrate to like find amino acids. So to like search for like dead meat and stuff, which that makes sense. They're like in the water, they're looking for dead bodies. They like climb into the dead bodies. But instead of only consuming it with their mouths like we thought they did, they actually absorb a lot of nutrients through the skin and then their gills. Like they basically burrow in and then just like absorb from inside out. Like they absorb the amino acids that are breaking down from the body, the carcasses, through their body. So I mean, that's kind of cool. Like a different way of absorbing a different animal. Another way that is
and
wild.
so
Okay, go ahead.
wait, so how did they do it? Like so it is going up and it's like using its mucus to like just kind of dissolve the other animal?
So the animals are already decaying. Hold on, let me see if I can like pull
Mhm.
the paper. Uh Nope. Where is absorbing decaying animal amino acids? Yeah. So they originally thought it was just like eating it because they were like but then they like figured out that some of these amino acids weren't metabolized the correct way. Like that's how they discovered it. They're like, whoa, you got a lot of these
Oh,
particular
huh.
amino acids in this lamprey that couldn't have made it through if it had eaten it. Like it was
They're
not
just
just
like
sensing it. Yeah.
they're just like they're just like, huh, where did these come from?
Yeah, I need to find the
Interesting.
exact paper. I was just like, here's another example of kind of crazy digestion. Um, but I have some really cool ones, and one with a really cool name. So nudibranches or nudibranchs. These are also I guess like they're slugs, sea slugs. So some of them have evolved to not only eat and digest all kinds of things, but they'll also take some of their, I guess, their defense mechanisms. So many of the animals in the Cnidaria family, which is like jellyfishes and stuff, they'll have these pointy things with venoms in them that they use to like stab their prey or use to protect themselves. So whenever these sea slugs, these nudibranchs, eat them, they absorb they take care to not break off these pointy parts
Like
with the
stingy,
venom,
pointy
the
parts.
stinky, yeah, and then they kind of attach it to themselves from internally, like they like will push it through themselves and make it stick out in useful directions, and so now they have absorbed, or like now they have like pointy venomous things sticking out of them to protect themselves. So like
Oh, yeah.
stingers, like yeah, they will just like collect stingers from the jellyfish they've eaten and
And incorporate them.
incorporate them.
It's
And
kind
like
of cool that like they biologically can do that. Like they can like do something else with that instead of just like breaking it down. They can like incorporate it into their body.
yeah, so nudibranchs are actually known for this. Like a plain nudibranch, if you just feed it like, I don't know, bread, it'll just be like bread. It really becomes what it eats.
Wait,
um
what do you mean by this? It'll become bread. Like it'll just like start having lots of starches building up in its body.
no, like I meant like it will be boring like bread. Like if it
Oh,
eats something
okay. Yeah.
interesting, it will become
Okay.
interesting.
So
Um
nudibranchs eat bread the way that we eat bread.
Yeah, and so they have
Okay.
this thing called so some of them have this thing called a kleptosome, like it steals things. It's
Hmm.
like a vacuole, like a not a vacuole, but like a like a pouch, I guess, that like they can steal things, and in these pouches they can grow whatever they stole. So for example, they can become like solar nudibranchs by eating corals that have algae on them that photosynthesize. And instead of digesting it, like if I ate a plant, I would digest it and I would just like break down this plant and it would become, you know, nutrients or whatever, and then I would absorb it and poop it out. So but instead of actually like absorbing it, it like keeps it in these little pouches called cryptosomes, and it would just like keep it growing, and they would absorb the sugars that come out of it. And so during like famine, like they can't find food, they'll just photosynthesize. They're not photosynthesizing. They have these little pouches of algae that they had eaten a while ago, let those photosynthesize, and they keep feeding them like what it needs, and then like absorb the sugars from
This literally
these
just sounds like a
algae.
video game mechanic.
I know, they're like Pokemon. They're kind of
Yeah.
like Pokemon. Yeah, but so like, and then like these little pouches would like, you know, provide little booster energy, sun power energy
Yeah.
to the nudibranchs.
Like I'm just like, why is like the coral and the sea anemone equipable?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I think we talked about, shoot, what was this other fluorescing thing, this bioluminescent thing that had like a thing in their eye?
Oh yeah, where there's
Um,
a colony of, it's the fish or like the colony of like bioluminescent bacteria just grows in it.
yeah. So this is kind of like that, where these little kleptosomes are actually better environments for this algae than like free floating in the ocean. But like if the nudibranch was never ate an algae, like it never ate the coral, the soft
Wouldn't
coral,
have that ability.
it wouldn't have it. Like it
Yeah.
has to be like inoculated, like at some point in their life. They
Yeah,
would-
like it has to go get it. Yep. Also,
Yeah,
Sprag
and-
is just like, this is just a worse stream. Which, like, okay, fair.
I mean,
I was not aware that that was the direction we were going, but yeah, it did kind of turn out that.
yeah, and okay, so like they're really also known for, besides these like cool powers that they have where they're just like rogue in X-Men and just like absorbing their powers, they also become the colors of like things they eat. So for example, if you eat a bunch of like green stuff with a lot of chlorophyll, as it like goes into as it mixes with and fuses with lysosomes, it'll break down and the colors will change. So they'll like change colors depending on what they eat. And it,
I mean,
like,
that makes sense because if it's gonna be able to photosynthesize, it has like then it's gonna pick up to the pigments that are like absorbing the energy for photosynthesis.
yes. And then this is a fan page which I will share called where is the okay, sorry. Can you share that? I will also actually, yeah, if you share that, I can walkabout. So they are known. So besides this cool power, they are also known for being really coolly colored. And this is a fan page analyzing all the cool nudibranchs that are like similar to popular or famous people. They all have their own nudibranch, and just hundreds of photos of like, this is the nudibranch of I don't know who this, the stripy stripes, David Bowie. Like this is David Bowie's nudibranch.
That's great.
This is, you know, like there are so many of them and they are beautiful. Aren't they so cute and beautiful? They're just, you could just sit there and stare at them all day.
So did people like feed these nudibranchs specific things to try to get them to look like this, or are they like these just ones that they found?
Yeah, so
Naturally.
I always thought that, like, you know, if your nudibranch is that color, like baby nudibranch, that baby's nudibranch, like their offspring would look like that, but that's not true. It's just what they
But
ate.
no, it's just what they ate. Yeah.
I mean, there's probably like some species like differences, but a lot of times the colors come from what they ate. And they're beautiful. Like this is like a fan page. Highly recommend staring at some of them if you want.
Wow. Someone spotted that David Bowie often looked like a sea slug, created an entire blog. I mean, that's not really like, it's more like they found sea slugs that look like David Bowie.
Yeah. I mean, also, I didn't know David Bowie had so many like costumes, I guess. Like he
Mhm.
like wow. Um it's great. Highly recommend. Like there's so many different colors and shapes and patterns of them. I guess that's not
Wow, yeah.
as creepy, but more Halloweeny than
More cool. Yeah.
yeah, like a light Halloween. Oh, oh shoot. Is that me or is that you, Drosting?
That's me. Mhm.
Okay, great. Uh,
Um,
okay, but then I do have a final creepy fact about this particular organism. So several of their species can also so whenever they're like being attacked, they can just self decapitate. They can just like remove their bodies and just be like, "Yep, we're good," and then just drop their body. Like you know how like lizards drop a
like, so
tail.
it's like the head separates from the rest of the body.
Yeah, so like in the words of this paper, they said jettison their entire body, and self-decapitate, and then they'll just regrow all their organs in 2 weeks. And in fact, this paper was they were investigating like the genes and stuff that are necessary to like regrow all these organs. So they don't always jettison their bodies because of predators. They'll sometimes just do it spontaneously
Just
to
because
us.
they feel like it.
Yeah, and it could be just because like an organ is damaged or like I don't know, they got a clogged gut, like something. And they
Oh,
would have to
wow.
regrow
Yeah.
everything. They'll like regrow a heart, they'll regrow like everything from scratch and they'll do it all in like 2 weeks. Um yeah.
So do nudibranchs have like a natural, like, without predators, is their lifespan limited, or would they just keep doing this like body jettison and regrow thing
Ooh,
indefinitely?
that's a great question. I don't know. I'm googling lifespan right now. Um Apparently they only live for somewhere between a few weeks and a year. So I guess not that they have really short lifespans. Okay,
Yeah, but
nudibranch.
like I'm curious about, so in the lobsters it's called negligible senescence. So it's this idea that kind of like biologically they don't really age. Um,
Ah,
according to Google, they're known for their short lifespans.
life cycle. Nudibranch life cycle. Let's see. Let's see what Google gets me.
Apparently,
Uh,
sea urchins have negligible senescence, but it seems
oh,
that nudibranchs don't.
yeah. Um,
I mean, like they do have to like. I mean, they do have to keep their head, right? So it's like presumably their head is still aging at like a normal rate.
yeah. I don't think you can keep decapitating it over and over again.
But like,
Um,
okay, this seems like an obvious experiment to do. Is like if you cut off the head of a nudibranch like every month, does the nudibranch live forever?
I actually did kind of that experiment in college with
Oh,
planaria.
really? Uh-huh.
Yeah.
And I mean, did it
Um,
work?
it does. And actually if you like partially cut it, it might like grow like two heads.
Oh, wow. But
Um
they live longer than the normal planaria do?
I'm looking up planaria lifespan now. Things that I'm looking at. Okay. They live and regenerate indefinitely.
Oh, wow. Okay, yeah. So this is like a known thing about these worms. Yeah.
Okay, planaria can live I guess forever. They can regenerate indefinitely, allowing them to live as long as they are not killed by injury or disease. And so some asexual clones have been maintained for over 15 years. Okay, I guess it's like a lobster. Like until
Yeah.
they get like, trapped in their shell or die, like these guys.
Although, like, yeah, I feel like it's a little different from lobsters because lobsters reproduce sexually, though. So it's just like their tissue doesn't seem to age, but it doesn't regenerate as well either. Like, I feel like this is kind of a thing. Like, I feel like this is kind of a thing that's like, okay, if you have an organism that just reproduces by splitting itself, then it can also
Yeah.
do that to regenerate. Like,
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I guess they're kind of sort of technically immortal, which it's a different kind of immortal. The
Well,
nudibranchs do sexually reproduce. It's the
yeah.
planarias.
Oh.
Not to
Mhm.
confuse the nudibranchs and the
Yeah.
planarias. The planarias are the immortal ones. The
The immortal
nudibranchs,
ones. I
yeah.
feel
I
like
mean,
someone should do this experiment on nudibranchs though, and see if they will be immortal if you just keep chopping them.
yeah. That would be really interesting to see. Yeah, I remember in college I was playing with the planarias a lot in like a zoology course, and
Mhm.
it basically, you could chop off parts, and like both halves, I think, become a new organism. I forget. Like I think they can regenerate. Can they regenerate their head? Hold on. Now I'm
Like if
confused. I
you
remember.
if you start with the butt end, does it regenerate the head?
Yeah. Regenerate head? Question mark. I think it can grow a head.
Because you were
Yeah.
saying sometimes you'd get ones with two heads, right?
Yeah, so planaria can regenerate a head. So if you cut it down the middle, so you have like a worm with a head and a tail,
Uh-huh.
like here, and then you cut it down the middle, I think you end up with two worms
Wow.
because one half
Yeah.
regenerates a tail and the other one
And the
regenerates a head.
other half regenerates its head. Yeah.
Correct. A head fragment will regenerate a head, tail fragment regenerate a head. Yeah, we can do another creepy thing about planaria. I mean, we're so
Yeah.
lucky planaria don't like come after us, I guess. They're kind of a little zombie-like.
Yeah, like it is good. Like when you think about it, it's like they are impossible to kill mechanically because you chop them into pieces and those just become more planaria.
Yeah. Oh, here's the life science thing about the hagfish, by the way, that I was reading, where I found out about the absorption thing. Okay, but speaking of the oh my gosh, we I have some more parasites
Oh yeah.
things
Yay,
of
more
other ways
parasites.
of digesting. Yeah. Okay. Okay. So do you know about these wasps? These parasitoid wasps
I
called.
feel like I've vaguely heard of this, but I'm not familiar with them.
Yeah, so basically they use aphids as a host and they lay eggs inside them. And then
Mhm.
as the larvae hatch, it just eats the aphids from the inside. And then like hatches from the body of the
Wow. Uh-huh.
the
While the aphid is alive.
yep, yep. And then like yeah, and then they just leave a mummified shell of the aphid. They leave that behind.
Wow. Uh-huh.
And then like they emerge as a wasp. That's pretty creepy, but I
What
thought
is the advantage of doing that over like killing the aphid first? Or is it just
so.
like that there's no point in killing the aphid first? Or
No, I think they want to use it as like a vessel with food. Like it's a
I
moving
see,
vessel that's
yeah.
alive.
So you get
And
more food if the aphid continues to consume food while these things are growing.
yep, there is a whole section at the University of Minnesota that studies parasitoid wasps in general, like that whole like category and like what kind of wasp, what kind of like combination of aphids, wasp, plants, like what they, super fascinating, kind of creepy. Look up some photos. I wanted to. I guess we need to fly through this because there's only like 9 minutes left. Okay,
Mhm.
so there's one more kind of cool parasite. It's called a Chlamytho exuga. That sounds terrible. But let me show you a photo of it. It is a tongue-eating louse that has a symbiotic relationship with fish. Let me see if I can find. Here is the glass image. No, show me. Okay, share screen. Share screen. Let me share the screen. Okay, so this is so basically a biologist was going through, can you see it? Can you see the fish?
Yeah, it's up.
Okay,
Yeah.
so they were going through some fish skeleton scans, and this is like the fish's skeleton. You can see the head, and then they saw that they had this thing in their mouth, and it looked like a oversized bug inside their mouth.
That's terrifying. Like, imagine just like you're just like, yep, just going to go scan some fish as we do, and you find this one that like its tongue has been replaced by this like crab thing. Like, I would seriously reconsider whether I wanted to be in this field.
So this louse eats the tongue. So that's why it's called a tongue-eating louse. It eats the tongue, and then it just
Makes sense.
replaces the tongue. It just hangs out, and it like attaches off in it, where the tongue is bleeding and withering. It like just absorbs, like it eats fish basically. Like it drinks blood. It it feeds off its blood until the organ withers and falls away. Then it replaces the tongue, functioning as a grisly but operational stand-in.
I see. Well, so it hooks on to like the tendons that are controlling the tongue.
Yep. So here is a like fly through of what it looks like into the skull with it attached. So this is the head of the fish, and then you can see now where I guess like that's the palate, and then there is the louse.
Oh, there's the louse. Yeah.
Yep, not creepy at all. And let me show you, like, this is like not just like an ancient organism, like it exists in the modern day.
Like, I've seen pictures of people catching fish that like have these in them.
Yep, here's a
Which,
fish
like,
picture.
Again, would make me be like, okay, I don't want to go fishing actually.
Yeah, let me show you this fish. So yeah, here's the fish, and then here's the louse.
Okay, the bottom one is kind of cute.
This one is cute.
Yeah, it looks happy.
The louse is happy, or the fish is happy?
Yeah, the louse. I mean, the
Okay.
fish also looks happy, but then the louse has just got, or the fish has just got like this cute little like creature chilling in it.
Yeah. Yeah. Here is a
You're just like,
parasitic
okay.
tongue louse. I would be very upset if something came and ate my tongue and became a prosthetic tongue and just like, leached off of me. Thanks.
Yeah.
But yeah.
I guess it would depend on like what ate my tongue. Like, does it give like you said it. So you said this was a symbiote, actually. So was that correct? Like, does it confer some benefit to the fish? Okay.
This is definitely a parasite. It's a marine parasite. Yeah, definitely on the parasites range of. So I guess it's not even. Yeah, it's just parasite. It goes parasite's the worst, then mutualism, then symbiote, where they work together.
And then commensalism is somewhere in there, right?
Yeah, I think commensalism and mutualism kind of in the same area.
Are the same thing. Yeah.
I don't want to say it's the same thing because let me make sure I'm not lying. Commensalism versus,
like, I feel like it would be cooler if it like glowed or like it gave you the ability to produce venom or something. Then I would be like, okay, there's some upsides to this. But
yeah, I think commensalism is helped and one doesn't really care. So like mutualism would be like, I guess like the full symbiosis where like you have like the crabs that clean.
It's beneficial to both.
Yeah, beneficial to both. Commensalism is like the egrets that like chase after the herds and eat the fish that the water got churned up. And then this one is clearly a parasite.
Yeah. So this one is harmful to the fish because
fish definitely lost a tongue. Yeah. Parasite got your tongue, and the louse definitely gets more out of it than the fish does. Yeah. Okay. So in the last 3 minutes, I wanted to start to end it with something light and slightly more heartening.
Sure.
So last year we introduced the cordyceps fungi that would basically invade many kinds of insects and cause them to walk around, and it's the inspiration for the Last of Us and
the Last of Us
series. Yeah. So apparently, they've been doing more research on them, and they actually take over these ants, but they don't take over the entire population of ants. So it doesn't become an apocalyptic zombie ending, because they actually want a healthy population of ants so they can continue perpetuating themselves. So it usually doesn't invade more than a couple of ants in a colony at a time, which is kind of wild.
How, like what is actually limiting it? Like, is it like that some ants are immune to it, or is it like...
No, so they have a lot of ants have this like system where once they recognize another ant is sick, they'll like send it to quarantine. They'll like go and quarantine the ants, and by doing that, it actually is successful at quarantining the sick ants, and then they die out there. But they have like, there always is like a couple of ants that are like below the threshold of being perceived as sick. So it's like an ongoing cold versus like a full outbreak. So like kind of like yeah, it's less of a full big outbreak where it kills the whole population and everyone becomes zombies. It's more like a cold that goes on forever. Kind of like COVID.
Right.
Like it's not horrible enough to like kill off a lot of people really quick. I mean, it did, but like it doesn't like, you know, wipe the population. Its goal is to just kind of be there, for a long time.
Yeah, and it's like, okay, it has this kind of, it can have this asymptomatic presentation. That means there's always some that have it, but it can't. Like, it's like, because the ants isolate the symptomatic ants, then that prevents it from spreading too fast. But there's always some, like a little bit that can spread anyway.
Yeah, here's the National Geographic about the like update on the cordyceps, which was kind of heartening a little bit. I guess I don't know if it's more creepy or less creepy that it's just gonna be around for a long time, but like it's not gonna be like apocalyptic, which is kind of what we talked about in the past, right? We talked about how like these diseases that are like really horrible and really bad, we're kind of
I mean, I feel like it makes it less creepy in that it means, I feel like it's less creepy in that it like means it doesn't cause a zombie apocalypse.
Yeah, and it's more like, you know, a really shit cold or the flu or COVID.
Yeah, a zombie inconvenience, one might say.
Yeah, zombie inconvenience.
It kind of reminds me of this headline that was online a few years ago. Let me share it. This was like a headline in a newspaper. Like, new research, jellyfish apocalypse not coming. Yeah. And people, this one is just like, disappointing. But yeah, apparently the cordyceps apocalypse is not coming.
No, I think we forget. Remember how we said we wanted to try and end on the light note? We're like, look at all the horrible things that didn't happen.
That
could have happened and didn't happen. Here's one more that, you know, even for the ants, like it didn't happen.
Interesting. Like, it turns out it's just like because ants are really good at public health, I guess. Like,
yeah, but ants are reasonable at public health. They quarantine their sickly and leave them out to die to keep the population going. Yeah, I mean, I guess occasionally there'll be outbreaks, but other than that, they like kind of keep this terrible code going. With that, I think we're out of time.
Yeah.
We can skip the next. We can skip the last. We can save them for next year.
Yeah, sounds good. Yeah,
sounds good.
Or if we want to do one on planaria, we can just do that.
We should totally talk about planaria.
We will see you next week to talk about maybe planaria or maybe something else.
Yeah, anyway, very good. Thanks for joining us. We're Philosophy.